Welcome to Rockingham for rounds 10, 11 and 12 in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 SuperCup. Luke Herbert has been dominating the championship, but James Blake Baldwin is right behind him in the championship standings, and Lyndsay was able to catch up to him before the first of today's races.
Thanks, Lloyd. Yes, I am here with the one and only James. So, James, you're 0.2 of a second barely in the lead. What's your plans going into it?
Yeah, this weekend is going to be really, really tough. Jack Harding is, as you say, about 1 or 2 tenths behind me. I know he's going to be quick, along with Luke, Johnny as well. So really just going to try and sort of go out and stay ahead. You know, aim of racing is to cross the line first, but never works out to plan. So see how we go.
Thanks very much, Lyndsay. Well, the cars lining up on the grid there, and it's James Blake Baldwin who lines on pole position with Jack Harding alongside. Championship leader Luke Herbert is third, ahead of Johnny Greensmith. Then it's Carl Garnett and Jack Sycamore on row 3, with Steve Roberts and Will Stacey. A welcome return for Will Stacey, the winner of the opening round of the season back at Silverstone. Aidan Hill's one to watch for. He should move forward from 9th, as well as Sam Tatler 10th. And it's Simon Baldwin and Lewis Carter, James Kell and Christian White, with Tom Parker and Gary Townsend on the 8th row. Row 9 for Bradley Kent and Alec Livesley. Row 10, Mark Swarbrick and Nick Rutter. Alex Miller and Javier Brooker next, ahead of John Stack and Ian McDonald, who round out the field. So the championship standings, just 6 points separate Luke Herbert and James Blake Baldwin coming into this race, with Jack Harding a further 4 back, and they are the top 3 on the grid, but not quite in that order. Herbert down in 3rd, Blake Baldwin and Harding on the front row. Well, we've had the green flag from the back of the grid. We're about to go racing in round number 10 of the championship. The lights go out, away we go, and Jack Harding makes the jump from the outside of row number 1. He will lead down towards turn number 1. He gets himself ahead of Blake Baldwin 2nd, Herbert coming around the outside in 3rd, and Johnny Greensmith there, the white and blue car number 2 in 4th position, trying to get involved as well. Up the inside comes Carl Garnett. Oh, there's a bit of a rub between the two of them. They just about save it. So down into the braking zone at the hairpin for the first time of asking. Harding leads the way, Blake Baldwin into the back of him, nearly under braking. Oh, a few of them run wide. Gary Townsend out onto the grass. Someone else further back is in the dust as well. But they will all, I think, get through with varying degrees of success through the Dean hairpin. It will be Harding from Blake Baldwin from Greensmith, the top 3, with Luke Herbert in danger of getting hung out to dry here because there's a whole sea of cars behind. Carl Garnett is 5th and Aidan Hill's up to 6th from 9th on the grid. A brilliant start from Aidan Hill's teammate to Luke Herbert, of course, and he is very nearly going to meet his teammate on it as he starts to slide backwards down into Corby. Oh, Hills makes another move up the inside. Brilliant stuff there. Gets past Jack Sycamore under braking. Through the double apex left-hander. Everyone continuing on their way. There's Nick Rutter, number 99, battling away towards the tail end of the field. At the tail end of the field is Ian McDonald, but the leaders turn through Gracelands for the first time, back down towards the Tarzan hairpin, and you can see that Johnny Greensmith is not that far behind James Blake Baldwin as they flick it into the right-hander. And then back on their way down the school straight. Simon Baldwin further back, trying to make a move up the inside of Sam Tatler. Not sure whether that one paid off. But as they head back up now towards the Brook chicane, it is Harding from Blake Baldwin from Greensmith at the end of the first lap. Herbert 4th, Garnett 5th, Hill 6th, Sycamore 7th, and Steve Roberts, by the looks of it, is in 8th position. And Herbert's getting closer and closer. Look at the way that Blake Baldwin's car is dancing around through the flat-out turn 1 as he desperately tries to get back to the inside line. He still can't get there. With the bumper really flapping in the wind, that's going to be killing the straight line performance of Jack Harding's car, even on a short straight like this one down towards Yentwood. But look how much closer the other blue car, the all-blue car, is getting. Luke Herbert is ominously close to them now, and the man who really hasn't had the pace to fight for a race win on outright speed in this race is looking like he might be able to, just because the leaders are so busy squabbling with each other. Back through the Piff-Paff chicane they go, into Corby. Harding weathering the storm for now. That contact I don't think has done any significant damage to the suspension or the wheel or anything. It's just the bodywork flapping in the wind, but it is quite a windy day here at Rockingham, so that's going to be really hurting. You can see it's getting looser and looser as well as we go further around the lap into Tarzan. No outside at Graceland's antics this time for Blake Baldwin. He instead just plonks the car on the outside line into Tarzan, tries to carry speed out of the turn. There's another good look at the rear bumper there. I don't think they quite made contact that time, but it was fairly close. And about to come on to another lap, but we're getting towards the end of this race now. This might even be the last lap that they're about to start. And James Blake Baldwin still, frustratedly, cannot find a way past Jack Harding. Through the chicane they go, onto another lap. And takes the wide line this time, does Blake Baldwin. Tried to straighten the wheel out and get the power down a bit earlier. Harding pulls to the inside, but Blake Baldwin surely is going to be alongside as they go on to the final lap now. Inside line for Harding, outside for Blake Baldwin. He's going to go right around the outside. No, takes the wide sweeping entry into turn one, and look at the extra speed. That means he can carry through the corner. Goes to the outside again now down towards the Dean hairpin, but we've seen this before. Harding is just going to sit on the inside and defend the position, but look who's arrived. Luke Herbert is right there with them now. It's going to be a three-way shootout on the final lap for victory in this first race of the weekend. That's been, well, they haven't been changing positions quite as often as maybe we've seen in the past, but it's still been an exhilarating race given just how closely matched these two have been. Jack Harding has led every lap of this race so far. Don't forget it was Blake Baldwin though who started on pole position, and he will not be happy that he lost the lead at the start and has not been able to get it back through Piff Paff. Herbert with them now though, so 3 cars for the lead as they head down towards Corby, and this might just relieve some of the pressure from Jack Harding, because this means that Blake Baldwin, instead of just 100% focusing on attack mode and trying to get the lead away, he has to defend, because Herbert, look, he's looking up the inside line, trying to get second place away, can't do it into Gracelands. It's more important for Blake Baldwin to keep Herbert behind him than it is to get in front of Harding, because Herbert is the championship leader. Blake Baldwin is in front of Harding in the championship, albeit only by 4 points. Through the Tarzan hairpin again, Herbert with the widest line in. That means he gets the tightest line out and gets the power down a little bit harder than the cars around him. It's all going to come down to the scramble through the final chicane and out onto the banking once again. It looks as though Jack Harding might just have judged this to perfection though. Through the right, through the left, back onto the banking, and Jack Harding, is he going to be able to do enough to hang on? Blake Baldwin with a good exit for the final corner, but I don't think he's going to get there. Jack Harding is going to take his second win of 2018, and what a victory it was. He moves himself right back into contention for the championship with a victory in round number 10 of the Mazda MX-5 SuperCup. Second place goes the way of James Blake Baldwin and Luke Herbert third. But look at this, the top 3 were separated by just over half a second at the flag. Greensmith fourth from Carl Garnett fifth, Steve Roberts sixth and Jack Sycamore seventh. Aidan Hills dropped down to 8th towards the end, Simon Baldwin 9th, and Sam Tatler rounded out the top 10. Then it was James Kellan, Tom Parker ahead of Alec Lindsley, Gary Townsend and Christian White. Lewis Carter was 16th, then it's Alex Miller, Bradley Kent, Xavier Brook and Nick Rutter in 20th. 21st for John Stack, 22nd Ian McDonald. Will Stacey was an unfortunate late retirement, and Mark Swarbrick out on the first lap.
Jack, fantastic start there, and congratulations on your victory.
Yeah, it was good. It all went to plan really. We got a good start, got James off the start, moved into first. Really quick for the first few laps. Thought we was going to drive away. We set the fastest lap, and then the car just went off in a massive fashion after like 4 laps. So James was back on me, and then it was just a very, very tight race, shall we say. Trying to defend from James. Obviously, he's a hard contender anyway.
James, really tough first race out there. Congratulations on your second place. Didn't quite go according to plan though.
No, unfortunately, Jack, defended really, really well all the way round. Felt like we had the pace to catch him and pass, but no, I mean, he put the car in the right place every single time, and sadly, I just sat staring at his bumper for 20 minutes.
Luke, third place in the first race. Got to be looking good for your championship, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's to win the MX-5 SuperCup, you've got to be consistent. It's not the continuation of poles we've had at this first few rounds. But yeah, we're just struggling here a little bit. But as long as we keep getting on the podium, that's all we need. It's good results for me and my sponsors: SRC Recycling, A&S Tooling, Digital Watersports, McEwan Wealth Management, and ACC Tyres. We couldn't be without them. So great result.
Race number 2 here for the Mazda MX-5 SuperCup, just a few moments away, and the grid's starting to line up, and it will be James Blake Baldwin on the front row again. Second fastest qualifying times from yesterday, deciding the grid for this one. So although it was Harding that beat Blake Baldwin to the victory in race 1, that will not be the way that things stand at the start of race number 2. Here's the rest of the grid then. Blake Baldwin and Harding row 1, with Herbert and Greensmith again on row 2. Will Stacey 5th on the grid this time, ahead of Carl Garnett, and then Simon Baldwin and Jack Sycamore on the 4th row. Row number 5 of the grid is where we find Aidan Hills, who slipped backwards towards the end of race 1 with Steve Roberts for company. Then it's Lewis Carter and Sam Tatler, ahead of James Kellan, Christian White, with Tom Parker and Gary Townsend next up. Bradley Kent and Alec Lindsley, Nick Rutter and Mark Swarbrick, Alex Miller and Aldo Ritti on the 11th row, Xavier Brook and Ian McDonald once again bringing up the rear. So race 1 was a phenomenal race between James Blake Baldwin and Jack Harding. Harding got the better of Blake Baldwin though, and by virtue of setting the fastest lap means that he is tied for points for second place with James. Would be had James not had these pole positions actually, so there's still 2 points between them as we go into this race. Away we go, and this time around Luke Herbert makes a much better jump from the inside of row number 2. Look at that, 4 abreast for the race lead down towards turn 1, and it's Harding who gets muscled out in the middle. So Jack Harding, our race 1 winner, already slipping backwards. Look at that, he's down to 4th. He might just pick a couple up as they go back down towards the Dean hairpin, but it's Blake Baldwin crucially who has got himself in the lead this time. Greensmith's going right round the outside. This is risky stuff, but it can work out. Hold your breath, everyone. Let's hope they all get through Dean like they did in race 1. Bit of sideways antics further back, but yes, they are all going to get through, with Blake Baldwin leading, Herbert second. Third is debatable at the moment between Harding and Greensmith. Harding's on the grass and on the outside line into Chapman. Got one car off again though. Oh, would you believe it's Mark Swarbrick for the second race in a row. He's not going to make it round the first lap. He didn't even make it as far round this time. He at least made it to this part of the circuit yesterday before he ended up in the gravel. This time he's off after only 2 corners. Right, Harding back up the inside of Greensmith, and look at Aidan Hills with another stonking start from 9th on the grid. Carl Garnett's barging Simon Baldwin off. Oh, it's already getting a bit feistier than it did yesterday. Down in towards Gracelands we go. Simon Baldwin and Carl Garnett are still side by side, and Garnett finally, I think, might make the move, stick through Gracelands. There's more contact though. Off onto the grass goes Simon Baldwin, and we're going to have to put this all on ice now because the safety car is being called for as a result of Mark Swarbrick's car being off in the gravel. So they race until they see a safety car board. Harding, therefore, is giving him a little bit of a harder time now as they turn into Dean for what I believe will be the final time. Yeah, Dean hairpin they go through. Herbert's still second with Harding third, but they've dropped over a second behind now all of a sudden. And that was all of a sudden because they were right with him half a lap ago. So maybe there was a mistake somewhere from Herbert through the chicane that we didn't catch, and that of course will have held Harding up as well because there's nowhere to go through the chicane if the car in front has a bobble. No choice really but to either run into the back of them or hit the brakes and slow down. Don't know whether that's what's happened, but it certainly appears that something has occurred between Herbert and Harding to drop them this far back. And so actually James Blake Baldwin is going to have a fairly straightforward, he says, finding some wood to touch, half a lap now to the flag. And just like buses, you wait for another win to come along. And well, this will now be his 3rd win of the season, won't it, for James Blake Baldwin? So through tires on the go. Oh, Jack Harding up the inside for second place there at the last lap. Gets alongside Luke Herbert, but he runs out wide on the exit of the corner. And Herbert gets back alongside. Can Harding stay up the inside down towards Brook Chicane? I think the answer is probably going to be no. Indeed it is. So Herbert gets over to defend, but that came out of absolutely nowhere there for Jack Harding to get through to second place. Well, that means that they drop even further back from Blake Baldwin now, who comes out of the final corner to take win number 3 of the season. Round number 11 of the Mazda MX-5 Super Cup goes to James Blake Baldwin, and with it he gets even closer to the championship lead. Herbert will still finish in second place though, I can tell you, from Harding in third. Those two separated by just 36 thousandths of a second at the line. Here's confirmation of the result then. Blake Baldwin from Herbert from Harding, with Aidan Hills hanging on to 4th position. Greensmith 5th, Jack Sycamore 6th, then Steve Roberts 7th, Simon Baldwin 8th, Sam Tatler 9th, and Will Stacey in 10th. Lewis Carter's next, ahead of Gary Townsend and Tom Parker. Alec Livesley and Christian White round out the top 15. Then it's Aldo Ritty, Alex Miller, Bradley Kent, Ian McDonald, and Carl Garnett. James Kell, Nick Rutter, Xavier Brook, and Mark Swarbrick were our 4 non-finishers.
James, a cracking start there in the second race. You kind of spoiled Jack's chances of having 3 wins out of 3.
Good. That was the idea. Yeah, we had a good start for once. I'm usually rubbish at starts, but no, got away and just sort of managed the gap and crossed the line and got a win.
Luke, tough battle out there in the second race. Congratulations on second place, but really tough. Yeah. And just got over the line in 0.03 of a second or something.
I know, it's, my starts are key this year. Managed to get off the line, around the outside of James, ahead of Jack, and then yeah, it was a hard battle all the way to the end. I mean, James drove a great race. It looked like I was was giving him a hard time, but I was just trying to hang on and had Jack behind and pushed him in. You know, Jack made a couple of good moves in the last lap, last couple of corners, but unfortunately it didn't pay off for him. We managed to cross the line just 10 seconds, so yeah, fantastic.
Jack, you don't make our lives easy, do you? That was really close there for second place, 0.036 of a second.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Can I just say, first of all, massive thanks to the team, AK, for just, giving me a great car. I feel like I let us down a little bit in that race, but it was a brilliant car yesterday. The win that I got yesterday was for Bell and for Hope. But yeah, it's been tough. James and Luke both made a massive step forward today, and we seem to sort of either stay the same, or if anything, we just dropped off a little bit. So it was a tough race, but third still better than nothing in it.
We're in the holding area for race 3 in the BRSCC Mazda SuperCup, and it's really exciting because the 3 championship contenders are at the back of the grid. Now, Lyndsay, this is a unique feature in the Mazda MX-5 Super Series. Talk us through it.
Yes, what happens is we have a ball draw after race 2, and luckily it was number 7, Steve Roberts, who's now gone straight to pole, and there's a reverse grid from 1 to 7 downwards, which meant we now have James, who won the last round, in place 7. We then have Luke, who is currently 4 points ahead in the championship at the moment in time after race 2, in P6. So for the final time this weekend, we'll hand it over to Andy to run us through the rest of the grid.
Yes, thank you very much, Lyndsay. 2 great races so far today. A win apiece for Jack Harding and James Blake Baldwin. But for this third and final race, it is Steve Roberts and Jack Sycamore who make up the front row. Johnny Greensmith, winner at Knock Hill, is on row 2 with Aidan Hills looking for his first win of the season still. Then we get to the championship contenders, Jack Harding and Luke Herbert, row 3. James Blake Baldwin down on row 4, alongside his stepbrother Simon. Then row 5 for Sam Tatler and Will Stacey, winner of round 1 back at Silverstone. Lewis Carter and Gary Townsend are next, ahead of Tom Parker and Alec Livesley, and Christian White and Aldo Ritty. Towards back of the field now, Alex Miller and Bradley Kendra on the 9th row, row 10 for Ian McDonald and Carl Garnett. James Keller and Nick Rutter are next, and the 12th row with Javier Brook and Mark Swarbrick. Now, we can't count out Jack Harding for this championship battle either. He is the white and blue car that starts on the inside of row number 3 alongside the championship leader Luke Herbert, the all-blue number 1 car. We get ready to go racing for the final time this weekend at Rockingham. The lights go out, away we go, and from the front row of the grid it looks like a fairly even start, but Sycamore maybe will get his nose ahead of Steve Roberts on the run down towards turn number 1. Johnny Greensmith's coming around the outside, then they're going to be 3 abreast through the first corner. Further back there in the championship contenders all trying to get themselves sorted out. They're all going to the inside line. Look, all of them, Harding, Herbert and Blake Baldwin. They're 4 abreast for the race leader because Aidan Hills is coming charging around the outside. Jack Harding on the inside of everyone. They will take the race lead. Jack Harding, a remarkable start from 5th on the grid, leads them through the Dean Hairpin for the first time. Blake Baldwin is alongside Jack Sycamore for 2nd place in towards the end, but he gets boxed out wide. Oh, drama! James Blake Baldwin off the road. The man who was so close to taking the championship lead away is off on the first lap. There's no damage done, but he's right at the back of the field. Well, we could not have scripted this, could we? Jack Harding has made the absolute perfect start to this race, because not only has he got the race lead, but he's got several cars now between himself and his championship rivals, because somewhere in all of that, Luke Herbert has been held up as well, and there he is behind Simon Baldwin. So Luke Herbert has some real work to do, not quite as much though as his championship rival James Blake Baldwin. There's Aidan Hills, he's dicing away with Johnny Greensmith, so well, we questioned whether it was the right decision for those championship contenders to go to the inside line down towards the Dean Hairpin. Initially, it seemed to work, but then something happened down at Dean which has seriously hurt both of the top 2 in the championship. There is Luke Herbert trying to find a way past the squabbling Simon Baldwin and Johnny Greensmith. Johnny ends up on the grass coming out of the Dean Hairpin. There's damage to the front of his car, I noticed. Now, whether that is linked with what happened to Blake Baldwin, I'm not too sure. Will Stacey there, the all-blue 192 car, ahead of Aidan Hills. They are running 4th and 5th respectively. So the order across the line at the end of lap 1, Harding leads the way. It is Roberts 2nd place, 3rd for Sycamore, 4th for Will Stacey, who started 10th on the grid, and Aidan Hills rounds out the top 5. What a remarkable opening lap that was, and well, we're not done yet with the drama. Jack Harding will now be looking to try and check out, I'm sure, at the front of the field, but what's going to happen behind him? Steve Roberts and Jack Sycamore both looking for their first ever race victories, of course, in the MX-5 SuperCup. Jack Sycamore, in fact, looking for his first ever podium. Steve Roberts had a podium way back at Silverstone at the start of the year in that opening round of the season, which was won by Will Stacey, the man who's 4th, Hills 5th, Greensmith 6th, Herbert up to 7th now, so he's found a way ahead of Simon Baldwin. And we wait and wait and wait, and there, car number 4 real regularity. Remember, Luke won 4 races from 6 over the Knockhill and Brands Hatch weekends. But as we leave Rockingham, they're going to remain his only 4 wins of the season so far. And with James Blake Baldwin and Jack Harding set to be tied on 3 race wins after this one, that goes to show just how competitive a season it's been. And Jack Harding will be really happy that he continues to be a part of this championship equation. Can't quite count out Johnny Greensmith or Aidan Hills yet, but they could do with winning with a bit more regularity than they have been so far. For the time being, it is all about this man. Jack Harding is now just a few corners away from victory in round number 12 of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 SuperCup. The 2018 championship is turning into an all-time classic, and Jack Harding is turning into one of the real championship favourites. Out onto the banking he comes. He will take victory in race number 3 here at Rockingham, and in dominant fashion too. A well-deserved second victory of the weekend for Jack Harding, and it's going to be Steve Roberts who hangs on to second place, Aidan Hills in 3rd, and Luke Herbert 4th, Greensmith 5th. But look at that, James Blake Baldwin from stone dead last after 2 corners. He gets into 6th position by the checkered flag, and they are some valuable championship points. So Harding wins by nearly 7 seconds in the end over Roberts and Hills rounding off the podium. Herbert is 4th and Greensmith 5th. James Blake Baldwin won a drive to 6th place. William Stacey is 7th, Sam Tatler 8th, Carl Garnett 9th, Gary Townsend 10th, then Jack Sycamore, Bradley Kent, Tom Parker and Christian White, with Aldo Ritty in 15th, ahead of James Kell, Nick Rutter, Alex Miller and Ian McDonald. Mark Swarbrick was a non-finisher, so too was Simon Baldwin, Lewis Carter, Alec Lindsley and Xavier Brook. A brilliant race though. This championship is going all the way to the last race of the year.
Jack, can you talk us through that start? It was amazing.
Yeah, I got off the line. It wasn't brilliant. It was just sort of average, sort of same as the guys in front. And I got a bit of slipstream coming through turn 1, the kink, and then as we were coming down to turn 2, I just saw a small gap on the inside of Steve, and I just thought, you know what, I'll just fill my car with it. And then he saw me and gave me a bit of room, and that was it. And then that was job done. So yeah, that set us up for the result.
We had the crowd absolutely roaring at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I was a bit excited. Then I drove like a bit of an idiot for about 3 laps because I was a bit nervous. But then now I settled down and I went away with it. So great.
Steve, talk us through that race.
Well, I looked into a front row start because it was the reverse grid. So, you know, I wanted to be on the front row through my pace, but I'll take it. I got a reasonably good start, and then everyone just towed up behind us, and I'd left half a car's width, and I saw Jack come steaming down the inside, so I thought, well, you know, give him some room else we're both going off. So kind of had a bit of a messy first corner then, but managed to just get back into second, and then I hooked onto Jack's bumper, and for the first few laps I was doing okay and sticking with him. Then I just missed a couple of gears, which seems to be my Achilles heel on these Mazdas. I can't seem to change from second to third, which you'd think would be a simple thing. So I missed about 2 gears in 1 lap, and that dropped me back from Jack, and then I lost the toe, and then it was just no man's land. So it was a case of consolidating second then.
Aidan, that was a fantastic race for you.
Yeah, it was a good race. We had a really bad qualifying. I went from start qualifying 10th and 9th, so we were down on pace, and I struggled in the first race, and then we were 4th earlier today, and then a podium in the last race. I can't complain. I've had a podium at every meeting now, so yeah, it's a good weekend in the end.